Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have tuned into the B Lifestyle Radio Show. I am your host, Letitia Dorsey Magaha, and I am excited to be here tonight. It's March the 5th, 2025, and it is 9:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Georgia. I want to welcome my co-host, Antonio Bagaha. How are you?
I'm sorry. I'm well. I'm a little tired, but outside of that, I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Little tired, but you know, we gonna push on. We're gonna press on. The old people used to say we're gonna run on and see what the end gonna be tonight.
Indeed.
You know what's very interesting about today? It was nice and warm at around 1 o'clock. And then I came out of the building, and I was like, "Oh, it's winter again."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for it to move on. Like I'm good. I've had enough winter for winter, so it's time for it's time for spring to come on in and do what it's supposed to do. Because the way that wind was whipping today, and it's the temperature. It actually said it was supposed to be higher, but it started dropping like drastically, like the earlier part of the evening, and I wasn't expecting that. So I'm ready for it to get going. Time for it to move on.
Yeah, it's time to move on because it's cold and allergies are out there.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
trees look like cotton balls now. So
a lot of people having, dealing with this, the allergies or what have you. A lot of people. I'm starting to see people put on masks again too. So that's interesting. I don't know if it's because of some of the sicknesses still going around or it's the allergies or what have you. But I'm starting to see a lot more masks again. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, I saw that last year. A lot of people wore masks. Because the pollen was so thick and so high, and it was causing major respiratory situations for people. And so I did see quite a few people last year with masks coming to spring.
Right.
Those pollen molecules, they get into your respiratory, and it really messes people up sometimes.
Yeah, I used to before I moved to Atlanta. I used to, when I was in Mississippi, pollen season, springtime, early winter, when it would come around, I would get really, really, really sick. And I think a few times here I had to get a shot because it would get, out of control or so overwhelming. But I hadn't really, I don't know, last 5 or 6, 7 years or more, it hadn't been that bad. But, still kind of lingering. But, yes, allergy season can be tough. It can be very tough.
Yeah, growing up, I had hay fever really bad, like really bad. And then at some point, it moving here, it went away for a while. Like it totally went away, and then I don't know. I take Zyrtec, so I don't even chance it anymore. Just take Zyrtec. I used to
take what is it called? Bee pollen.
I used to take bee pollen because it had the same.
That worked?
Yeah, it worked. It had to load into your system, and you had to have bee pollen from your local area so that it could inoculate you from the pollen that was in your area. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it will work when you get that local bee pollen.
This is kind of changing the subject a little bit, but yeah, you were correct. Roy Ayers did pass, 84.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, we take a moment to acknowledge now an ancestor.
Correct.
Roy Ayers. Man. Well, I hope to live a full and prosperous life like Mr. Ayers. He was 84 years old.
Right. Right.
4 years young. He was doing. I hope he was doing what he loved to do, because he definitely made a mark and an impact that will not be ever forgotten with his music. Like,
Indeed.
Everybody loves the sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Well, we're going to introduce our guest. Speaking of things, all things health. I'm sorry, got a little distracted. So, speaking of health and all things health, we are going to introduce our guest this evening. I'm super excited about our guests, Jamie and Ayanna Portee, health practitioners, joy practitioners, magical people. I told somebody at work today that I know really magical people, and these are two of the most magical people I know. I want to introduce to you all Jamie and Ayanna Portee. How are you all tonight?
Hello, how you doing? We're doing wonderful.
We're great. Thank you for the nice introduction.
Yes.
Look
Magic
at that.
attracts magic, so just saying.
Magical people.
I love that.
So, I have a little for Ayanna. Or how would you like to be referred to on this, to our listening audience?
Well, Yanni's fine, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in this biography here, from her website, she says she is an energy practitioner with 20-plus years of experience working with hundreds of clients, including animals, through different forms of energetic healing modalities. Now, we love a good energetic healing modality on this show.
Yes, we do.
Right.
Yeah.
I am an exceptional listener, and I customize each session according to what the energy dictates. Allowing the body to heal requires allowing the body to speak. My joy comes from seeing others thrive and live out their passions. Whether you are looking for vibrant health, greater fulfillment, financial growth, we love a good financial growth, or more successful relationships, I can help you on your journey to living your best and highest good. Now, Jamie, I don't have a energetic energy healing.
You don't. You don't. I'm more of a sidekick.
No, he's not. We are partners.
You say all things apply to him as well.
Yes, he's the bioenergy bro.
I am that.
Yeah.
I like that.
He knows what I know. Yeah. We both know a lot of the same things, and we have a lot of overlap, but his approach is different than mine, so it's comprehensive.
And the beauty of it is the fact that we are both on the same timeline as, in terms of our growth. So we both are very, very passionate about health and wealth. Health as your wealth,
Health as your wealth, because you can have a bazillion dollars. If you don't have health, you have nothing.
For sure.
That's right.
And we're always willing to continue learning. That's why we stumble on things, because we remain curious.
Mm-hmm.
And the universe brings us stuff like, we'll just have a simple like, oh, man, I wonder what it would be like to have a blank. And the universe will connect us with a person like the next day. And that's how it all works, just staying in alignment as much as possible so you can pull in your desired results.
That's right.
Let me tell
So
you how that word, even though, alignment is definitely the buzzword in general now, but today I have had maybe 3 conversations with different people about the word alignment. Let me hear your definition. What are you? Because people are saying it everywhere. They're all the time. We're talking about alignment. What does that look like or sound like in you all's description? What would you say alignment
You want
was?
me to go first?
Go ahead. You go first. No problem.
Well, I look at the body as being in a place of homeostasis, where when you are in alignment, that is where your vital force is the strongest. So sometimes you might have too much energy where, I'll just say you have too much inertia. You might be too yin. Or if you octane, I'm going to get you sucker, that's too much yang energy. So getting to a place where you're in the middle, where you can reap the benefit from both sides, that's alignment. That's homeostasis. That's where your chi is flowing the best. Yeah, that part. And then that's the good balance of male and feminine. I mean, the masculine and feminine too. So alignment is not just a buzzword for me. It's a feeling. It's a place where it's not I wonder, but it's certainty.
And for me, and I'll piggyback on the end of that. I agree with everything you just said, and to add to it, alignment for me is your purpose, and your purpose is also the most, to me, this is just me talking, is also the most authentic version of yourself. And to become the most authentic version of yourself, you have to release yourself from the things that you may have picked up along the way. Might be some trauma, might be something toxic, it might be anything, or just some bad behaviors. And so for me, alignment is returning to who you were before those situations or circumstances may have, knocked you off course, so to speak.
That's good. That's good. The way that I think now is drastically different how I thought, years ago, which is, that's how it's supposed to be, because you're not growing if you are in the same spot. And so alignment, I will say for me, the awareness of alignment for me started years and years and years ago. And I started seeing like what people are calling now angel numbers. And it started off with 911. I was telling someone at work this story today. It started with the numbers 911. And I was in a very, the word that comes to my mind is desperate, because there was no money flow. There was no, I was struggling in everything. And I could not, I was so like, why am I struck? I have a whole degree from this very recognized college in the South, and, I know I'm smart, and like I'm not lacking anything, but I was lacking something. And I was a single mom at this time, and like nothing was going my way. And I just started seeing 911 everywhere, and I got so scared. I was terrified because, we associate 911 with the tragedy in New York. And so it was, when I say it was everywhere, you couldn't make it up. Like I would avoid it and run into it. And I had a friend of mine who is now, he is a Sufi and a very much a health and wellness practitioner. I had to call him, and he had to talk me off the ledge, because I was like, am I about to die? What is going on? Why do I keep saying this? And he assured me that I was not about to die, but, it represented actually a pulling down of everything that I knew, a destruction of a type, a power moment. And that's absolutely what I was having. And then after that, I have a phone full of numbers, 333s, 111s, 222s, 555s, 44, and And it hasn't stopped since. But I remember when I started seeing 1111, and this is before it got all super popular, you know. Everybody's talking about it now, right? But this was way before that. And the Spirit said to me, whenever you see 1111, it represents alignment, a line that's meant to be where it is. That's a line for me.
Yeah.
You see 1111, you are at the right place, at the right time, for the right reason. And it was such an internal assurance that it just really helped me. It really helped me, and that was years ago. And I still see the numbers now, but the path that God took me on, you know, nobody could vouch for my path. You know, nobody could tell me what to do, how to do it. Not even because I was refusing to listen. It was just a personal path that now on this side of all the things, you know, I knew that it was Spirit speaking to me. So alignment for me and the word, like you said, Yanni, it's not a buzzword for me. It is absolute an experience that I've had and am having and want to continue to have, because now I want to be in that path.
Yeah. You know, when you were talking about the numbers, I was getting a couple downloads too. And what I really remembered is when I started really allowing myself to see the messages that were coming through from my team through numbers. The moment I got excited, they just started sending more and more numbers. It was like they were like, hey, we got her attention. We've been trying to get her attention all this time. This is what she likes. And then you start seeing numbers. And for me, I would see 1, 2, 3, 4. And every time I would bring it up to someone, I was like, something's getting ready to change. And they were like, what are you talking about? I was like, I keep seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. And they said, you mean 1234? I was like, I can't see it in that way for some reason. I just see 1, 2, 3, 4, get ready to go. And every time those numbers come up the way they do, there's a change. And I can't hold on to the chair and fight it. I have to go with it. I have to allow. So I've gotten very used to it. I know what it means when it comes. But the 911 situation, that is a projection, because I believe that these numbers already had their own assigned meaning.
Yep.
And then for some reason we want to overwrite that initial meaning. And then all of a sudden it's attached to ambulances and towers falling down. That is a projection. That is a viewfinder view of that number. Somebody put a viewfinder in your little red box and you start clicking it, and you saw it so many times it became your truth. What was revealed to me about the 9 and 11 is in numerology, 9 is an ending. So when you spoke on the tower moment, I was like, that tracks. It's an ending of something. But the 11 they showed me was a door. 9 is the ending of something to complete so you can walk through that new door. And once what'd you say?
I'm just amening you.
Oh, okay, cool. But so when you have that moment, you can embrace it more because you know the door is already waiting for you. And that happened with us. That 911 was kicking down the door. We were renting a house, and our landlord sent us a message and said, hey, we want to take advantage of the housing market. Can you be out in 7 days? We're like, heck no, we can't be out for 7 days.
Oh, wow.
We actually were getting the 911 much earlier. And I knew something was coming, but I didn't know what to do next. So we started planning to move. And then our landlord's wife was like, yeah, my husband had a heart attack. So guess what we did? We showed empathy. And we said, okay, maybe we'll slow down because they probably need this income if he had a heart attack. But the universe was telling us to get the hell out. And when we weren't in
boy.
alignment in that timing of it, we reaped the karma of it, and stuff was just happening. If I had moved with the proper time, I wouldn't have been overwhelmed by the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that is really all of this simulation that we're in is it's just practice because we're always okay. And I had to, that 9/11, I had to really back up, and even like Spirit led me to Psalms like 91:11, and it was like talking about refuge of God and protection. And I thought that I was like, okay, like you said earlier, we took those numbers and really assigned emergency, warning, danger, when really it's the opposite. And we're okay. We're okay because even if the stuff is falling down, it's fine because we're going through another door. We're going through it. It's a part of this journey. So I definitely learned from then to now, and I'm still, like you said earlier, I like staying curious is definitely a thing that we do because in an infinite amount of possibilities, that means I only know a smidgen of things.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And then on top of that, the greatest teachers are the best students, period.
Period. Yeah. I tell my kids at school, like, when I'm teaching something, I love teaching because when I'm teaching, I'm learning.
That's right.
Learn. And so I'm not, I love teaching. Yeah, that's good. So, we were talking earlier about, allergies and people getting ill, and because I know we can talk about chemtrails, and, one day I woke up and I got in the car and I looked up, and when I say the zigzags that I saw, they were just really, they were so remarkable this day. 5 minutes later, my neighbor texted me pictures and was like, "Look at this!" And all over the internet, all over the country, people were posting this particular day because it was ridiculous.
It was. Everybody was talking. It was like that cloud or something. Are you talking about that time?
It was like just an abnormally large amounts of those zigzags in the sky.
Yeah.
Those, chemtrails, or they're called contrails, but
because they're getting rid of the pollution in the air and trying to burn it out. But those are nanoparticles, and they fall some places, and the perfect place for them to get in would be your skin or your nostrils when you're breathing in. I tell people, don't cut your hair in your nose too low because everything will be going in that mug.
Yeah, because it is a protection for your system.
Yeah.
That's right. It sure is.
Antonio always, when he sees the chemtrails, he goes, "Oh, all right, well, this means everybody's about to be ill," because there's such a connection between when we start seeing a lot of around here, we start seeing those chemtrails, and the next week it's like tons of people are sick.
Yeah. It's been pretty consistent.
Well, that's a good segue.
That's a great segue.
That's a really great segue because everybody is not getting sick. And the people that believe that they're going to get sick are going to get sick first. So let's note that, too, just so we can be mindful of our energy hygiene. Like, wow.
Mindful of our projection.
Exactly. Like, wow, you know what? In the past, People have gotten sick, but, you know, I'm glad that I have a very resilient body, and my cells are always working to protect me from, you know, toxins like that, you know. And speaking that over your life, that would be the first place to start, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is take a detox bath. You know, that's really cheap. Put some Epsom salt, some baking soda, and some bentonite clay, and allow that to draw out some of the poisons and the metals and the cadmium and stuff like that that's in the air. Because bentonite clay will attract those types of things, you know.
So pause, and so for our listening audiences, let's, you know, because if you're listening, and thank you for listening to the Be Lifestyle Radio Show, I'm telling you, absolute gems are being dropped, and are going to be dropped hour. And I would advise you, if you are listening tonight, to go ahead and get you a pen and some paper and write down some of these things. And like I tell the students, you don't believe me in anything I say. Don't just take what I say. Take what I say and research it. Take what I said and look it up. Don't you know that taking people's words for things has been a downfall for us for a long time. But now that we have so much information available, there's no reason to be ignorant anymore. And like I tell my students, there's nothing wrong with being ignorant. We're all ignorant at times. Willfully ignorance is another thing. So get a piece of paper, jot these names down, jot these terms down, so that you can look forward to a better health existence, a better alignment with yourself and the present world that we're living in. So let's rewind for a minute. You said taking a what kind of bath?
A detox bath.
Okay, go ahead for someone who hasn't ever heard of a detox bath.
So a detox bath is using the water along with different elements to help heal your body. So let's say you were having negative energy. In pranic healing, they put plain salt, not Epsom salt. They put plain salt in the bath, and you soak in there for about 20 minutes so your aura can get clean, and then you just allow those elements to be released in the water, right? So that's a form of a detox bath. I know that if you've worked out, your grandma or mom might have said, put some Epsom salt in there. So Epsom salt has a lot of magnesium. That calms the body, right? If you have inflammation, magnesium calms the body. Baking soda alkalizes the body. So if your body's too acidic, or if your skin is out of pH balance, the baking soda can help there. And then also the bentonite clay, since we were talking about the nanoparticles and allowing that clay to draw out the poison, and using the water to help facilitate it all.
And so is this something that people should do often, or like is it a regimen of, you know, once a day or once a month? What kind of protocol do you suggest people doing a detox bath?
You know, that's hard to say because some people don't have a strong vital force. And what I hear a lot of people say is, oh, I'm doing a cleanse, I'm doing a detox. And if your body is already struggling to do the basic functions of living, don't keep piling on detox after detox, you know, putting the body to work. You're adding too much labor, too many laborious things for the body. So take it and see how you feel. If you feel good, then you'll know, like, oh, yeah, it's time for me to do it again. I wouldn't overdo it for the reasons I stated before. To honor the body with the healing, not, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You know, a lot of people try to force their bodies into submission, like our friend. He would curse at his body and make demands of his body. I was laughing.
I used to sit there and say, well, good luck.
Good luck. He ain't going to listen to that.
If you cussing at your body, you expected to listen? Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get cursed from it. So, you know, you treat your body with love.
That's a very interesting thing, too, you know, in talking about health. You know, what I found to be true is the compartmentalization of things in our Western society, and so you don't you don't associate you calling yourself stupid, and it's something like we kind of grew up with, like the negative inner talk, and having this negative relationship with yourself, and expecting good things to happen, but you're having this negative relationship with yourself because we haven't been I know in the past we haven't been taught to love ourselves, in the way that is like we're talking about. We haven't been taught to have that positive relationship with ourselves, and that affects our health majorly.
Yeah.
Well, Tish, that's a great segue into exactly what we're talking about tonight, which is biohacking. Biohacking, as it pertains to your cells, is basically just trying to give your cells the best that you can give them while you're in this body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say what you just said about negative self-talk, what people don't realize is that you have however many cells in your body. There's cells in every part of your body, trillions or whatever.
Trillions of cells.
So the negative self-talk, your cells hear it.
Yes.
The foods that we eat, your cells are nourished or malnourished by them,
Body.
So yes, I just wanted to throw that in. Great segue, and we can keep going.
I want to piggyback on what Jamie said. Tish, did you have something you wanted to say back at what Jamie said?
No. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you have to say. I'm not going to forget what I'm going to say.
All I was going to say is Jamie brought up the word biohacking. And for our listening audience, I just wanted you all to, explain what biohacking is.
Okay. I'm going to give you an example from an epigenetics point of view, okay? You go to the doctor, and the doctor gives you a sheet and says, fill out all the things that your parents had and your grandparents. And on there is like, did your mom have diabetes? Not my mom, cancel this in advance. But, yeah, they'll check, and then they'll say their grandfather or somebody. And the doctors will make an assessment on what you are going to have based on what your family had in the past. Mm-hmm. However, epigenetics is if you take a cell and you change the environment, the cell responds to that environment. Mm-hmm. It changes. So if the pattern leads people in your family down the place to diabetes, then change the pattern. That's hacking the system. Hacking the system by maybe not eating a whole lot of things at one time so the body doesn't keep having insulin spikes. Because every time you have an insulin spike, you're cooking the body. It's like you cooking meat. It is. That's what it looks like. It's cooking the body. And you start seeing people get older. It's because they keep spiking by snacking too much. Even if you are eating a carnivorous diet with no sugar, that protein in frequency can keep giving you those insulin spikes. So you want to look like a fresh piece of chicken or a microwave piece of chicken. Let that be your choice. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's real. Like, giving the body self-love is giving it space to digest food. Mm-hmm. Just time. Like, oh, man, I eat such and such, I can barely move. And then you wait another 30 minutes, and because you can squeeze a cookie in there, you do. That's not really showing your body love, because your body's like, dang, we were in the middle of stage 3, and now she added some new food. We got to go all the way back to the beginning and start the digestive process. And then you're sitting around later farting with indigestion. You know what I'm saying? Because you done messed up the process. The body has a certain flow. That's all alignment. Knowing when to say, we're good. And if I give my body enough space and I still want it in 6 hours, I'm going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
But do I need it now?
No.
You can always hide it in the fridge if your husband's been clocking your chocolate cake, but don't stuff yourself. Because the spleen, Tonya must have been on her chocolate cake.
No, he eats the cake. Eat the cake. Eat the cake.
Quick side note, Tish, or were you about to say something?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say it was about 8 years ago that I was I played a lot of basketball. I was in this basketball league, and there was a guy. His name was Chang, and he was 79. And I'll never forget him because he was running the floor with dudes half his age. Some of them were even 20 and 30 years old, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me. I had never seen that in my life before. Because I remember talking to him, and I asked him what his age was, and so I was like, well, I was just kind of asking, because like I'm a student of life, so if I see something that I desire to have, I have a lot of questions. So I had a lot of questions for Chang that day, and I don't remember what he said exactly, but I remember leaving there saying, oh, I don't have to get old and busted as I age. And so fast forward to where we are today, that thought opened the door for me to be in this space with my partner, whereas we now know things that can slow down the aging process. And that's what biohacking is.
Yeah.
So you don't remember what he said? Like, he was 79, running up and down the court, you say?
79 years old.
Young.
79 years young. I'll take that back. 79 years young, yes.
Yeah, there's a lady I met recently who was in her 80s, 83, and she beatbops around. Like, she really redefined in my mind what being older could really look like. And that it didn't have to be, because we do have these mental images of, what old is and what young is. And as we age and have more years, you kind of go like, wow, I thought that this, 40 was this, and 45 was that, and 50 was this and that. Right. And as you get into those numbers, you go, wait, I'm still young. I'm still vibrant. How do I continue to live my best life, and the quality of life is definitely tied into our health.
For sure.
It really is.
Okay, go ahead, James.
No, I said it really is. I was agreeing with you, and
you saw me about to say
I was just going to say, so in my life now, I have set some goals for myself around my health. Whereas, when I make it to 70, 80 years old, I still want to be able to ride my bike. I still want to be able to shoot a basketball. I still want to be able to do a handstand.
Flexibility.
I don't want my partner to have to take care of me. I don't want to be at the hands of a doctor telling me I can't do this or do that. I don't want to be on a bunch of prescriptions. So I'm making sacrifices now to make sure that those things don't happen. So I was just going to add, babe. When I go play basketball, guys half my age, because I'm 49 years young. I don't know if I just said that, but guys half my age are saying, dude, we can't keep up with you. What are you doing? And I'm like, I take care of my body. I eat properly. They're like, well, what does that mean? What do I need to eat to be like you? And so here we are tonight.
Okay. So what do we need to do to be like you at 49? What does that look like? What do you eat? What is it? Give us.
Before we go there, I want to make a mental note about something that you said, that the projection that was given to us was that 50 is old age. If anybody on here is born in the 70s. So every time you see someone that is a different age defying what your original belief is, that is a new neural pathway for your subconscious to know that it's possible.
I love neural pathways.
Yes, because when we were younger and you watched The Jeffersons?
Even Fred Sanford.
Hold on, yeah, I was going to say, I was going to bring up Fred Sanford, Lamont, Archie Bunker, and all of those people that we saw. They were, Edith was 27. No, I'm just kidding. She was 27. She was 27.
No, but Fred was 49.
Yes.
At now.
Fred Sanford was in his 40s and Lamont was in his 20s. And Lamont, I thought he was going to be somebody's grandfather. He was 23. And so was Lionel.
Oh,
so
God.
They showed us those images of people like in their 40s. And so when we were younger, we thought 40s meant we were close to the end.
Right.
That's true.
And now from this point, we're like, what you talking about, Willis? We're different. So then every time you see one of those people, you're like, it's possible for me. And you just keep adding those people to your mindset. It's gonna change you. You're gonna want to do better for yourself. There's my mom and other people, I used to hear them say, well, you're gonna die anyway. But my mom, she changed her mindset. She is living life at 75.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your mom, and if you don't mind me bringing up, your mom had a health scare at one time, correct?
Yeah. Mhm. It was like May of 2022 is when I first started noticing it. You want me to talk about that?
Yes, a little bit, if you don't mind. If not, it's too personal.
Oh no, it's not personal at all. I will try not to share too much graphic things, but my mom had uterine cancer, and one of the things I do in my practice is I do facial analysis to look at mineral deficiencies. So I saw my mom had a couple of the markers for cancer, so I started giving her certain minerals to try to change it, to biohack her system and move it to a different place. So I don't know that I caught it early enough. I could see that her face was making some transformations, but then she said, hey, I've been hemorrhaging for a long time, and I've been kind of pushing the snooze button on it. And I said, I think you need to get checked out. So this was May when I first started noticing this. So she brought this up to me August. So she went to see an oncologist, and they said that there was a tumor in her body, and I will say it was the length of like a hot dog bun and maybe the width of a hot dog bun.
Wow.
So that's a pretty significant tumor. And so they said that, they were going to biopsy it, and they did find that it was cancerous. So they said that she could get a second opinion, or, she could proceed with what they thought. So she was at a smaller hospital, and they wanted to go straight to chemo without biopsying, so we moved to Emory. And Emory did their due diligence, okay? So while we were waiting for the doctors to kind of set the treatment plan to her, I said, Mom, I'm going to see if your body wants something homeopathic so I can still, continue to help you during this process. Well, hopefully your listeners don't think this is weird. This was the first intervention. I hear messages from like supplements or flowers or remedies. I can hear them talking to me saying they want to be with a person. So I have this homeopathic kit, and it's for labor and delivery. And it wanted to be with my mom, and I was like, Ayanna, you're not hearing this right. This is all in your head. So I left it alone. Then I heard it again, and the message was getting stronger. And then I said, all right, hey, Mom, this is going to be weird, but I want to leave this kit with you. Just let it sit with you for a little bit, and then if you still want something out of it when I come over next time, I'm going to give it to you. So the next time came up, I heard it very strongly. Give her something out the kit. So I gave her just one pellet of this homeopathic remedy called Simifuga. And I just left it alone. I said, let me know if your body feels anything. And she was like, okay, I'll let you know. So by that evening, she didn't feel anything. The next morning, she called. She was like, I'm feeling something. I was like, oh, okay. Do you feel like your body is in labor? She said, that's exactly what it feels like. I said, just allow it to happen and call me back. So she called freaking out. And she was like, what? Something just came out of me. And I was like, okay, first of all, don't send me any pictures, okay? That was the first thing I said.
First of all.
But take a picture of it, put it in the freezer just in case it needs to be biopsied. So I didn't want to have the picture on my phone to keep bothering me because I'm very sensitive. I do energy medicine, not regular medicine. Obviously. So I get over there and I look at the picture on the phone, and it was the same shape as the hot dog tumor. She passed it. Her body pushed it out.
Wow.
Yes. So that was before anything that the doctors did. So a lot of what we do, we can do on our own. And one of my friends was like, you just pretty much gave her a DNC. And I was like, I didn't touch her. I just gave her one little pellet, and her body did the rest. Our bodies know how to do the job. They just need the key. That's all it is, you know. So that didn't get rid of all of the cancer, but it got rid of the tumor. So the remedy, I looked it up in the Materia Medica, and the remedy is what you give to a person when they have a stillborn child. The child before me was stillborn.
Wow.
So I asked my mom, I said, did they give you anything at the hospital? She said, no, they didn't say anything. They just sent me home. So she had possibly been carrying that before I was born. That means I was in the womb with my brother, and I were in the womb with this leftover tissue of probably my brother.
Wow. That is that's amazing. That's an amazing story. And I know that there would have been a time where I would not be able to receive what you're saying, you know, because of my filters and how I
couldn't receive it either.
Oh, how long have you
that that I could hear stuff?
Yes.
I've been clairaudient since I was a little girl. But you know, when you have certain gifts, if it's not celebrated, or if you are too indoctrinated into your church, you'll just think something's wrong with you. So I suppressed those gifts. But 2 times they saved my life in car accidents, so I had to start listening to them and paying attention. We all have them, though, like all of us do. There's certain senses that are more heightened in your body than mine. And if we just kind of paid attention to them and played with them and, you know, wondered how they could be stronger, we'd all be able to use them.
I agree. I definitely agree. But I've definitely been conditioned to suppress those kind of things. Even like somebody would have told you that those because you said pellets, and so for our listening audience, if they don't know what you talking about, pellets or
homeopathy. Homeopathy is energetic medicine. It's like if you had an herb and you diluted the herb 100 times, and you took 1 drop from that dilution and diluted it another 100 and took 1 drop from that and do it 100 times. None of the herb is left, but the energy of it is left. So you're just taking the energy of the herb. So that's why it's very safe, you know, just taking the energy.
And the interesting thing is that, you know, for people who follow the Bible, and the Bible says that the herbs and those things are given for us to be healed with.
Mhm.
Somebody just they just found a way to concentrate the essence, the energy essence of flowers and salts and and things like that. So, and it's you can go to school. People can go to school to learn this homeopathy and what needs to be what you need to take. Have you been to school, or are you just a natural?
Well, it started out with me testing for myself, and then I went to school to become an acute homeopath. I'm a classically trained acute homeopath, so I deal a lot with like first aid and things that happen that are new. I can treat, if you have a long-term condition, but that would just be me being energetically attuned to you. I only treat like acute things that are recent. And I'm trained. I know over 5,000 or more remedies, and I know how to repertorize all that.
Wow.
Now, for our listening audiences, I have seen this woman go to work, and it is something else. So, and it is, I vouch, like I can vouch for the realness of it. But, we have boxed ourselves in, unfortunately, or have been allowed to box ourselves in to traditional, what is called traditional medicine. And people say, well, traditional medicine, what do they call it? A practice. It's a practice. They're practicing on you. Nowadays, it's just so up in the air for me personally, Now, if I broke my leg, I would go to the doctor so they can set it or do whatever it is. But I try to listen to my body, as best I can, to avoid medicine. That was us having a conversation about antibiotics, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
That's another one.
Well, I'll come into the antibiotics later because it'll be more involved. I'll keep it simple first.
Yeah.
There was something you just said, Tish, that made me think. I was like, I didn't finish my mom's story with you.
Okay. Continue.
So just because we got the tumor out, she still had cancer in her blood, right? Her blood levels didn't change. We got the tumor out. Hooray. But there was still more work to do. So her doctor wanted her to have chemo, radiation, and surgery. And my mom had just seen two of her friends, die after their chemo treatment. She was very afraid of it. So my mom was acting very much out of character. She's a double master's, retired professor. She's a very swift person. But once she got that C diagnosis, it emotionally changed her. I think she started thinking more about dying instead of living. So she agreed to have the surgery. So we did. I told her doctor, I said she doesn't want to do the other protocols. Do you have anything else that you suggest? She was like, no, this is all we do. This is our blanket approach. It works every time. This is the only way. She said the only way your mom will survive. So something about an absolute word is a trigger for me.
Me too.
I'm like, the only way?
Don't the worst thing you can do is tell me I can't do something.
I was like,
that's the worst thing you could do.
Yep. So we have the surgery, it's the robotic surgery, and it was longer than expected. They had to call in a specialist, and even though they had all this technology, the AI was using, the little scalpel and stuff, my mom had a small complication, and she had to stay in there longer. And, I supported her in the decision, and I said that I would support her in whatever she needed. But I was like, you guys are talking about the practice. You hope for the best.
Yeah.
So as soon as she gets out, the doctor calls and was like, hey, this is what happened. We had to call the urinary bladder specialist, this, that, and a third. and maybe we can schedule her to come in tomorrow for her first chemo treatment. And I said, do you really think it's prudent for her to come after this surgery where you said she had complications to start chemo when she's in her weakest state? I said, we're not doing that. So because they didn't care about my mom, we decided to go rogue. And that was the 28th of October. And then I was going to Abraham Hicks in a couple of days, like on the 30th. So I just put her to, our divine Father in the universe. I said, look, I know there's something that I'm not seeing. Connect me with it. I know that you can do that. Like, connect me with it fast because I want to intervene for my mom. So 2 days later, I'll do the short story. There was a girl kind of ear hustling to my conversation. Her father had stage 4 prostate cancer, and we were talking about my mom's uterine cancer. And she said, I am not trying to get in your business, but I have something that will work for you. And she said, if you want to, you can come to my house tomorrow, and I'll share with you. And it was a glutathione precursor. That was a game changer.
So tell our audience, what is a glutathione? Say it again.
I'm going to let Jamie talk about glutathione.
Glutathione. Now, prior to this, all of this happening in 2022, I had never heard the word before.
Well, I told you about it when I was making the suppository.
Oh, yeah, you did. I take that back. Yanni made some glutathione suppositories at one point. And since, the family, myself included, we're like the guinea pigs, but that was one thing that I put my foot down on the glutathione suppository. I said, I don't know what this is you done cooked up, but I'm not going to take it how you saying I have to take it.
Just stick it in there and hold it. Stick it in there and hold it, because I knew that if you took it by mouth, the stomach acid would destroy it. So I was just trying to use the back door.
And no judgment to each his own, but that was not my thing. All right.
So, who was not doing that?
Nah, it wasn't for me.
They all protested.
So if I was going to get glutathione that way, I wasn't getting it. So. But anyway, she brings this product home. And it's a glutathione precursor. Now, the thing about glutathione is that we're all born with this glutathione. It's the master antioxidant that repairs and replenishes the cells. So when you're, I want to say, at about the age of mid-20s,
23,
you're pretty much on the verge of depleting your body of all of its glutathione.
Well, it starts going way down,
right? So by the time you get 30s, mid-30s, 40s, you ain't got no more glutathione in your body. You don't. So, but go ahead.
Wow. You don't get rid of it all, Jamie. Jamie's going in hard. He's like, it's gone.
It's gone.
But it starts trickling out, and because you don't know how to put it back in, when you go to the doctor and you get older, the doctor will say, oh, you're fine. Then you go one time a day. Your blood sugar was elevated this time. It's something we might need to look at a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person will say, hey, your blood pressure was high. Have you been eating more salt? No, I'm eating the same way. It's because your glutathione, like Jamie said, is going lower and lower. And when your glutathione goes low, what goes up, Jamie?
Disease. That's right.
Glutathione keeps the disease away. So it's a seesaw.
And I would ask anyone that can hear the sound of my voice in this moment, if do your own research, go to Google, ChatGPT right now and type in the word glutathione and its benefits.
glutathione. And it sounds like glue the tie on. So that's how you can remember it.
So the product that the young lady gave to Yanni to give to her mom is a glutathione precursor, and what that means is it tells your body to make glutathione specific to your body and specific to your DNA. There's a lot of glutathione products on the market, but some of them are just I want to say they're kind of made in the lab.
Yeah.
And they're synthetic, and they may or may not work for you, Tish. They may work for you, Tonio. But this product that she brought home is a precursor that tells your body to make it specific for you. And we started taking that in 2022 as a family.
Yeah. When my mom started taking it, we all started taking it. And the Immunical is just undenatured whey protein. It's considered a food. Period. A food. Let food be thy medicine. Let medicine be thy food.
Yep.
That it's not a supplement. It's undenatured whey protein. It's not the same type of whey protein that you would get at GNC. That's, kind of cooked in bulk. This is raw. Like if you had raw milk from a farm, fermented. They take it through their process, and when you add water to it, it becomes bioactive. And once you drink that mug, your liver just starts cleaning up everything like Pac-Man. And then it goes back to the liver, regenerates itself, and it comes out for more. So that's why people respond to it very quickly.
And
this
so
was, I was going to say this was the first product of its kind that we had gotten our hands on like this. And I feel like this we were already kind of eating pretty clean, 10, 15 years prior to, but when we got our hands on that and started seeing the benefits of what it was doing to our cells, that took us into the stratosphere of okay, we need to really learn how to be intentional about the foods that all of the foods we eat, like all of this stuff.
We turned it up like 10 notches. Glutathione, I think when you raise your glutathione levels, it makes you want to be better too, because what's that guy's name? I can't remember. The guy that plays the horn. That was his testimony. He said, it made me more optimistic. And he said, I just kept taking it, and then I thought, maybe.
I think couldn't that be because it's repairing cells in your brain?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Not just cells in your brain, but everywhere. And if you think of your cells as having a light on, that's when they're like the shape of a grape. But a lot of us have cells that are shaped like raisins.
Yeah.
And then the light is off.
Oh, wow.
Right? So if you could get that visual, and then you see people walking hunched over, that's what is happening inside. Your cells are just, they're like, if I could just make it a Thursday, They're just asking for some help.
Well, we're going to take a station identification break, as they used to say. It is 10:05, and you are listening to the B Lifestyle Radio Show. I'm your host, Letitia Dorsey Magaha, with my co-host, Antonio Magaha, and we are talking to Jamie and Ayanna Portee on we're going to be right back.
That hot lemon is good. Yeah. Is that book over there? Let me give her this prayer. Thank you. Okay. Learning. First learning. Eight. Rites of passage.
All right. We are back with the Be Lifestyle Radio Show. I have been alerted that none of you all heard the music playing. I apologize for that. I'm not sure what that was, but I did play Roy Ayers. Everybody loves it. Shout out to Mr. Ayers. We love you. We bless you on your journey.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for your gift to us. Have to pause, you know. It's something else when, on a whole different note than the biohacking, when I describe it like this. If anyone remembers the Avengers, when Thanos got all the rings and everybody start disintegrating in the movie, that's kind of sometimes what life for me feels like when you start having people, like all of the staples, you know, start moving, transcending this plane. It's like little bits and pieces of yourself transcends with them. So it's very sobering, you know, because although, you know, we can biohack and we can play basketball till we 79, 80, 85, you know, at some point we will transcend this place.
That's right.
Yes.
So, but while we're here, we're going to biohack so we can really have a quality of life that it's no quality of life when someone has to, like you said, Jamie, you were saying that you don't want to be, somebody has to take care of you, and
that's right.
You're here, but you're not really here. So we have all of these tools available to us at this time. You know, it used to be very closed door, very guarded and gate kept.
Mhm.
But now it's so many things available. What would you guys say? Okay, so now we've talked about glutathione. How do you say it? Did I say it right?
Glutathione.
Glutathione.
Glutathione. So that's
just say gluta like ludicrous. Say gluta,
glutathione.
Yeah, there you go.
You should be
There you go.
a science teacher. So I told you guys that you should have your pens and papers available so you can write these things down. Glutathione, glutathione. Go research it. Go look it up. What else would you
And if they need
Yes.
I'm sorry. For the glutathione precursor, do you sell that? Because I have taken supplements with glutathione in it, but it doesn't seem like it was, to that magnitude.
Yes, I think Tish has a link to Amina-Cal, so I would send them her link so that they could order.
Okay, cool. We'll do that. Tish, do we need to send you that link so we can get it to the young lady?
No. Hi, caller. State your name.
Hi. This is Dion.
Hey, Dion.
I'm glad you had a question.
Yeah, I've been listening. I take detox baths maybe twice a month with the Epsom salt, the bentonite clay, and the baking soda, and I do add a little essential oil like frankincense to it as well.
That's right.
I like it. Right now I'm going through a detox. I'm doing a parasite cleanse, and it's crazy right now. But I practice traditional medicine. I'm actually a nurse practitioner, but I feel like it's an oxymoron because I much rather be doing more holistic than traditional.
Do you mind me asking what's your age?
I am 54.
Oh, very
wonderful. I love the fact that, that really didn't mean anything. You sound very youthful. I just wanted to celebrate you for.
You should see her. Youthful.
Yeah, I just want to celebrate you for taking care of yourself in this way.
And you know what? There was when I was going through something, because I didn't really share my story. I was misdiagnosed with cancer. It was a nurse practitioner that helped me balance my hormones. The doctors, sometimes they're a little, self-absorbed, so they don't always hear you. But the nurse practitioners, they always show empathy, and then they ask probing questions so they could get to the root cause. And that's something that always resonated with me. So thank you. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you. I think it's the approach coming from a nursing background. So it's a totally different train of thought than medicine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was an NP for a while. Another doctor that I work up, she ended up becoming a naturopath, but she was also a nurse practitioner. So I just know a lot of great people that are NPs, and they add so much value. So I just wanted to shout you out with that.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But as far as glutathione goes, you want to take the appropriate amount for your situation. Do you mind sharing like why you wanted to take glutathione or why you decided to take it?
Well, I'm really struggling with my own health over the last couple of years. I took a real deep dive, and it just seems like it's taken forever for me to get back out of the hole. I had a really stressful job that I didn't even stay on for 6 months. I got out of it because it was very stressful, but it just like within less than a month, I had lost like a tremendous amount of weight, and I just started to kind of decline, and it never. It took for I just been struggling ever since. I was told I had SIBO. Are you familiar with that? Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
That's my jam.
So I did I'm definitely, even though I've practiced traditional medicine, I'm definitely for the holistic approach. But so I was taking the protocol, the natural herbs for that. Then I went. My practitioner is integrative, so she's holistic and she's an MD. So she did another test, and then it came back that I had mycoplasma pneumoniae. So I'm like, okay, where is, all of this coming from? And then I just started doing all of these cleanses and detoxes, and now I'm like doing parasites, and they're coming out, and it's just been like this crazy roller coaster.
Good.
I love that.
I think that's good that you're paying attention to your body, but still be mindful of giving an ebb and flow situation with the body, detox, and then let the body recover, and then you can detox again. But I would like to speak to that SIBO, because I've overcome SIBO before, and I didn't use any herbs because I don't think that herbs will necessarily work to get that. You need to change the microbiome. You need to switch off the bad bacteria and get more of the good bacteria in there. And I don't know that we have enough time for me to get into this fully on the show, but there's so many different things you could do just at home, and it's so cheap, like making your own kefir, right? And making your own yogurt. There's a specific bacteria, I think L. reuteri will work for it, and then L. gasseri. Those two work. Are you using that?
Crazy. I just bought some L. reuteri, and I bought Instapot to make my own yogurt. And
yes, how do you do it?
I bought the. Actually, my coworker has a farm, and I was getting goat milk from my coworker, and he just told me that I can no longer get the goat milk because I was doing the goat milk yogurt, but I can't do that anymore because he started making this goat's milk lotion, and so he needs his milk for the lotion and the soap. So he just connected me with another raw dairy farm, but she said that her kids were still nursing, the baby goats were still nursing, and it was going to take like 2 weeks. So I just went and bought some organic milk today to try to milk this, to make this L. reuteri.
No, okay. We're gonna chop it up about it because this is my jam. I love this. So the protocol via Dr. William Davis, he says to use organic half and half and add a certain amount of prebiotic fiber to keep the sugar low for that particular yogurt.
Now, do you want to set up the whole
organic
segment?
half and half?
Yeah, so using the organic half and half instead of the milk. Now, the milk, are you in Georgia by any chance?
I am in Michigan.
Oh, I was like, I can share some of my kefir with you, but that's easy to find. And I'll send Tish and Tonio some links that they can share, but you start making that, it's going to repopulate your gut. I went and had a scan yesterday, and I was just scanning because I had a cold, and I was just looking to see what things were still left in, And when the practitioner got to my gut, she was like, your gut is amazing. you have such a healthy gut.
And you've only been making it for like
a month or a month and a half, maybe.
Not even a month.
It's not that long?
No, maybe 2-3 weeks.
But when I tell you I make probiotic sodas, I make kefir, I make yogurt, L. reuteri, and L. gasseri, those two specifically. I'm going to send you the SIBO protocol so you can make that on your own. And just start off with a tablespoon of it. It takes 36 hours to make if you really want the bacteria to blossom. In the store, when you get yogurt and kefir, they can only fermented like 4 to 6 hours, so the bacteria doesn't really have, you know, a lot of time to do its thing. But at that 30-point hour, it starts doubling and multiplying, so going from 20 billion to like 200 billion. And then letting that get in there, some of the bacteria goes after the candida and keeps it in check. Some of it goes after H. pylori. And if you take a probiotic supplement, the body doesn't know how to allocate it to the right place. But if you take a probiotic food, the body's like, oh, that ain't nothing but small intestine 1, 2, and 3, and sending it down there to do the work.
Okay, so let me tell you how things go around this house. It was about a month and a half ago that Yanni said to me, babe, we need to fix our gut microbiome. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And she says, okay, well, I'm going to start making my own kefir and yogurt because we got to get more fermented foods in our gut to eat the bad bacteria and give us good bacteria. I'm like, okay, well, let's go. So she gets the whole kit. And be careful. I don't remember your name, young lady. I'm sorry, but be careful because a couple of them have exploded on us.
Well, that's a soda, babe. That was a soda.
No, the yogurt. The yogurt did too, or whatever that was.
Because it's alive, it's active.
It is alive.
Yeah.
What you mean it exploded?
Well, like you know how if you open a soda, like a Sprite or something, after you shake it up.
Yeah.
That happened in the kitchen, and it was kefir everywhere.
It was. And I was rubbing my feet in it because I didn't want to waste it.
But, I mean, that's trial and error. I mean, all of that is wonderful because if you think about it from this aspect, you're eating live foods that are actually going to go into your body and do what was intended for food to do, you know, which is heal you.
What is the caller's name?
Dion.
Dion, thank you. I'm glad you told me yes. So, Dion, what did you hear about El Ruderi?
Well, Tish, didn't I send you the video on it, too?
Yes. On TikTok?
No, it was a YouTube. So my friend is kind of, you know, doing some, you know, holistic things, too, and she sent me the video. And it resonated with me, like, so strong that I'm like, because I've been trying to fix my gut. I've been taking fermented probiotics. I've been, you know, doing the yogurt. But, you know, I was like, you know, and the Bible says you need the goat's milk. So I was, you know, it's better for you than the cow's milk. So I've been doing the goat's milk yogurt. And, you know, I don't know anybody that even eats cleaner than I do. I think my husband might be on the phone, but like I eat so good, and yet I'm still not moving the dial. So
the goat's milk, they talked about that. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but the goat's milk may not be as effective as a cow's milk for some of these strands because of the milk. So, milk sugar.
I'm not going to get it. I am going to get the half and half. Now that you say that, but I haven't even opened the Instapot yet because, you know, I was going to do it this weekend, and I just went and purchased some milk today, but I'm going to go back and get the half and half and try to do the recipe like right away because I'm ready to move past this.
Yeah, you can search William Davis. I think that's his name, Dr. William Davis. He's a cardiologist, and he has transformed his practice to healing people instead of giving them drugs. He realized he was just writing prescriptions, and he took a different approach, and he started researching bacteria. And I think you'll get a whole lot out of those videos from him. The kefir is good. The yogurt is good. One of the things he learned about El Ruderi is that it raises the oxytocin levels in the body. Ooh. And if you have low oxytocin, you know what that leads to, right?
Depression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a whole lot of things that are connected to low oxytocin. So this doctor said he started analyzing like different people in different cultures and learning that they had good, healthy microbiome in like Africa. And you notice the people in Africa are really loving and they're dancing and they're smiling. They have good oxytocin levels. But in the United States in particular, we have access to different medications like antibiotics or biocides that wipe out our healthy microbiome.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have no L. reuteri anymore, right?
Yeah, and most people don't even know to replace it.
They don't. And
so you wipe out all your good bacteria with this antibiotic, and then most people go to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's.
Or they go to get Yoplait.
Yeah.
And Yoplait doesn't really have.
You gonna get played.
Yeah, you're gonna get played. No,
Whoa.
say.
You're gonna get played. Whoa.
So yeah, put in what you're doing, Dion, is going to change your life in a good way.
Kudos to Dion.
Yeah.
MVP of the evening.
I love that.
No, you guys are, you're the stars of the show that's bringing all the wealth of information. So I'm interested in this precursor to the glutathione as well.
Yes. I think that you will get a lot of benefits.
Yeah,
What did you
I
say,
got it. Thanks.
Yeah, I sent her the to that product, and Tony and I actually have had some. We tasted it, or we had some over Ayanna's and Jamie's house. And what is it? What it took about, Tony, like not even 5 minutes, where we could actually feel it working, like literally, like.
Yeah. If you're depleted, you're going to feel it. Tish, you tell her what you felt, and then I'll tell what I felt.
Like a surge of of energy, a surge of like mental clarity, like instantly, really.
Oh, like my rhodiola.
Yeah, rhodiola too. But if your glutathione is the house, the rhodiola would be like the windows, and the flower essences and the essential oils would be like the doors. So you need a strong structure to hold those things on to. Glutathione is that structure. It'll make everything else work better.
Dion, did you mention that she mentioned that parasite cleanse, but after that parasite cleanse, things went a little south, would you say?
What, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm still doing it, and they're still like, I definitely had, because I was so immune compromised, I guess, everybody has parasites, but it was to the point where when I became immunocompromised, I think mine just kind of took over because, like, they are, still coming out.
What are they, like whipworms? What kind are they? And then you're seeing larvae, or what are you, if it's not too much to ask?
Oh, no, listen.
She's a nurse.
She's a nurse.
I'm seeing white specks in my stool, and I'm actually seeing, I think they're roundworms.
Oh,
because, roundworms. I'm not sure, but they're long. And, I took a couple pictures. My husband was like, what in the world? Because I didn't think he would, I know he didn't believe me. And I'm like, look at this. And he's like,
look at all these rice pellets.
Yeah, I still have the rice pellets, and like even up until yesterday, there was like a pretty significant long worm.
Wow.
It's
been like 2 months, and I do give myself a week off from the one because you have to give your liver a break, like you said.
Yeah.
So I'll do 3 weeks on and a week off. But the digestive ones, I've been just kind of continuing because I'm trying to build up my microbiome. But and I'm trying to eat right, and it just seems like I'm moving like a turtle. So I purchased I have like 3 bottles of the L-Reuteri. It's from a company.
BioGM?
Let me see the name of the company, because the first company I tried to get, they were not available. They didn't have it. So I'll tell you it in a few minutes.
Okay. That I think it might be called BioGaia. BioGaia. I think. GAIA, something like that. The parasite thing
is oxyceutics. OXICEUTICS.
What can you tell me the L-reuteri number? Is it two different ones or is it one strand?
I gotta get my glasses, girl. I just told y'all I was 54.
What does that mean?
I'm trying to get back to my eyesight, but it ain't there yet.
I just heard you clearly. Let's see, what is that?
So
I just saved that file.
While they're looking for that, you are listening to the B Lifestyle Radio Show. I am your host, Letitia Dorsey Magaha, and we are talking about biohacking with Jamie and Ayanna Portee.
Yes.
I told y'all it was like a conversation. This is like the best ever.
Yes.
It's fun to have the meeting of the minds because everybody has so many things that they know, and if we talk about them, we just expand, each other's consciousness.
Right. Yep.
So let's see. I was looking for
lactobacillus. I'm sorry.
Lactobacillus.
Rudii.
Yeah.
This one looks like 56 milligrams per serving.
But does it say ATC, PTA 6475 or DSM 17938? Because those are two specific strands that you want to include along with the L-gacery.
No, I don't see that.
Before you make the yogurt, let's see if we can get that one, because that one is supposed to be good for SIBO. There's a specific SIBO protocol. I'm going to find that, and I'm going to send that over. Some of the bacteria, this one, let's see, for L-reuteri, it's good for skin, bone, heart health. It supports oxytocin production. It has antimicrobial properties. It may even enhance the longevity and protect the immune system. So when you were talking about being immunocompromised, this is something else that can assist with that particular bacteria. And that bacteria doesn't like to be over. I think it likes to stay at 104 to 109 degrees. It doesn't like to get over a certain temperature because it'll be destroyed, but it starts blossoming within those temperature ranges. And the time is important, the time and the temperature. So I don't want you to use your stuff until you know, so you won't waste that product, because that stuff can be expensive if you have to buy it over and over again. But once you make the yogurt, you can just keep making new yogurt with a batch of the yogurt you just made. So it can go on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow. What's interesting, if I may interject, if you're on social media and you have anything coming into your feed about natural things, like yogurt has been like all the buzz. Sourdough bread has been all the buzz.
Yep.
What's with sourdough bread? Is it the same?
The sourdough bread is the same because it's fermented.
And has bacteria.
Yes.
It's
a
bacteria.
culture.
Yeah.
It's like kombucha, fermented pickles, kimchi, sauerkraut, sourdough bread, yogurt, kefir, fermented vegetables.
And we now have, if not all of those things daily, at least a few of those each day, just because we know how good it is for the gut microbiome.
Yeah.
And rebuilding the gut bacteria, the good bacteria.
How long have I been telling you I'm gonna make this bread?
Like, listen, this this is one of my favorite people in the world. She she comes and she's in the forefront like of a lot of things. So one day she's like, I brought my own mill. I'm gonna grind my own wheat berries to make bread.
Look, I'm trying to tell you.
That's what we are.
Well, that's
I
what she
just made a batch of muffins. I just milled me some flour and made me some muffins.
I think that's the biggest takeaway here, is what this call is helping us to become more self-sustainable.
Yeah.
And doing things for ourselves. And if there ever was a time where money was an issue, us growing vegetables, Tish might say, hey, I have some cauliflower, and I'm like, hey, I have some kefir. We can trade and we can share and we can help each other live. And by us going back to the roots of like what our grandparents or our great-grandparents did, I think it's going to produce favorable results for us.
Yeah, and if you don't, you're gonna be left behind. Because we're absolutely
and stuck with Cheetos.
Now I want to let me insert this for you, Tish. Talking about all of this good bacteria and the good bacteria eating up the bad bacteria in the gut. I remember, and my wife reminded me, Yanni reminded me, my dad used to have this cheese that he used to sit on top of the fridge, and he would let it get so molded, and he would eat that shit, and I would be like, oh, my God, how can you do that? But really, that was some good bacteria. And when I was born, my dad was 55.
Exactly.
Wow. You said moldy bread?
Cheese.
Yep.
That's how they did it.
Because that cheese was made probably with raw milk at that time, and he was just letting it ferment. Like, it was probably like a buttermilk cheese.
And my dad was healthy pretty much his whole life.
Yeah, he was. My grandmother, she ate a lot of fermented things, too. Both of them did. I made kefir cheese the other day, y'all. I was so excited. I had so much kefir. I just let it drain overnight. So I got the whey. So the leftover whey I used to make probiotic sodas today. I did a probiotic coconut water. I did a probiotic pear juice. And they're fermenting. They're probably done right now because I've been doing them for a while. But you can use that same whey from the kefir, from the yogurt, to ferment other things and having a probiotic soda. So, trip this. When you make the probiotic soda and you use the juice, just say the juice has 29 grams of sugar in it. Guess who's eating the sugar up? The bacteria. They eat all the sugar out so you don't have the big spikes because that's what they fed off of, and that's what made it bubbly. It's a perfect drink, and you can make it over and over and over again. You never have to buy soda again.
It is good, too.
It's really good.
Because that probiotic soda is really, that's another popular or buzzword now. Like,
what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's everybody's coming out with some kind of probiotic. I think.
The sodas, like in the store. Yes, you're right, Tish. You're right. The poppies, and they charge you see how much they charge per can?
Can.
I'm going to take a picture and send you the sodas that I made so you can see them. But this is so easy. It's like the grocery stores, they want us to stay on the teat of the grocery store, so we're stuck. So we have to keep subscribing to their services and have to keep using our resources over and over. Like even with the supplements, that there's a couple probiotics that are really, really good. They have good strains in them. You think I'm not making yogurt with them? I'm going to take 2 of them capsules or 4 or however many I need per my 32 ounces of either half and half or milk, and I'm going to culture that so I can use it over and over again. So now that $50 bottle of probiotics is worth it. because I can give a couple to my mom and she can make yogurt, and we can all live and we can all eat.
You know, we are rounding into the last 15 minutes of the show, and what you just said right there is it's such a beautiful sentiment, and it really reflects who you guys are. You said that so we can all eat, you know. You all are not gatekeepers to information, and that's one of the many things that I love about you guys, that you are willing to share the information. Every time Tony and I, you know, visit with you all and talk to you guys, it's just like it's entertainment, but not because it's like dull entertainment. It's like exciting learning. It's finding out new things that are all good, good for us, and good inspiration. We always walk away from you guys feeling extremely inspired to do better and to live better and to just be better people inside and out. And so I just want to publicly and personally thank you for being who you are by yourselves and who you are together, because y'all are definitely the Wonder Twins, because together, you know, by yourselves, y'all are amazing people, but together you guys are just like truly just a power couple. And I feel very honored and very just thrilled that you guys are in our circle, because we are reflections of each other. So if you guys are awesome like that, that must mean I'm awesome and Tony's awesome.
That's right.
I was thinking that, and what a high honor to be recognized by your peers. Those words really rang true to my heart, and I feel grateful for what you said and who you guys are to us. And I was thinking the same thing. I said, like attracts like.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Like attracts like.
We are reflecting each other. We love each other. We honor each other with our words, our thoughts, and our deeds. And it's a very mutually beneficial, life-giving relationship. So we thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for like you said, not being gatekeepers and sharing the link. I appreciate it.
Yes, I sent some other links over there. I hope that stuff helps with the SIBO. And then I'm gonna send the probiotic sodas. I'm making some like little videos and stuff like that. I'm trying to do better with that, because I'm a person who just would prefer to have a conversation, but we don't want to leave the earth with the information. So if we at least record it, someone else will have it, and they can pass it on. It'll be just like a candle that keeps going.
Love it.
That's beautiful. I love that. You do have a website for people, if you're listening and, you know, want to find out some more information. You do have a website, correct? And you do consultations. Yes.
Yes. I do sessions. A lot of my sessions are with, you know, people that have emotional blocks and stuff like that. But I speak to the body in whatever way the body wants to talk that day. And it's something that I enjoy. I prefer to educate, but if someone needs help, I will make myself available as well.
So give us you guys' information before, you know, some people that might want to reach out. How can they reach you guys?
On the website.
Yeah.
And
on my Instagram.
You can share our Instagram links as well.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys? What are those? Go ahead and shout them out. So for the people who are listening now, or anybody who goes back to the show, what?
Yeah. I'm the Bioenergy Babe, like the THE, Bio BIO, Energy, traditional spelling, so ENERGY, Babe, BABE.
And I am Portier Music, PORTIER Music. You can find me on IG, and send me a question, DM me, whatever. We'll talk about it.
And listen, what? You're a musician? I just have to throw a fun fact in. Jamie produced Antonio's first musical project in 2005.
Wow. Dang, that's a long time.
Yep. So
happy anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
That's crazy.
A thing that is, for me, a thing that is, was, is, and will always be. So I find I take solace, and I'm thrilled about that. Before we...
Well,
oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to speak to what you said about music. Music has been a part of my life pretty much all my life, and if you know me at all, you know how much music means to me. But just as important as music is our health, and I think I may even be more passionate about health these days now. So yeah,
that's what's up. That is what's up. Are you guys doing any workshops coming up, or any kind of...
Yes. Actually, I'm working. We're building something, so we're doing a mock of it on Sunday. And as I get the information, I will definitely share it. There's a place in Atlanta. It's in Roswell, and this is one of my colleagues, good friends. I used to work with her at her center, and she has all of these high vibrational...
What's her name?
Energetic playground. Deborah Haynes. She's a retired oncology nurse. Do you know her? Yeah.
I don't know her, but we have some friends that are... Is that Roswell? Yeah, in Roswell. The neuroscience...
what's his name? Not Reggie. Mark? Are you talking about Mark?
No, I'm talking about the neuroscientist. We've mentioned her before.
Oh, she's in Roswell too?
Yep. So they
Is she off of Sun Valley?
I can't think of... what is that perimeter? Is that Roswell or perimeter?
That would be Sandy Springs or Dunwoody.
Okay.
By the perimeter.
Yeah, there's Sandy Springs. But you know, that network, when you start networking in there, and the people who know, like, this is where I got that brain tap machine from, and all of this information that put me on this path. They probably know each other.
They do. I'm sure, because it's too small. I used to, I sometimes go to the meetings, but I used to do it more often, where I would consult for different doctors' offices. And in our group, you had me, of course, I do Reiki and homeopathy and emotions. You have different doctors in there. You have nurse practitioners. You have massage therapists. You have people that just work specifically with the fascia. So we all come from our different healing modalities, and the doctors bring the cases that they can't figure out, and we help them with a treatment protocol based on our expertise, because the doctors may not have had, functional nutrition in med school, So we all come together, and we've helped a lot of people that way. So that's the Roswell, Alpharetta, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody area. So a lot of them, they might already know each other. But the place that I'm telling you about is a place you should definitely check out. It's called Be Vitalized and Energized in Roswell, Georgia. And the owner, Deborah Haynes, like I said, she was a retired RN. She has a biocharger there. She has an oxygen chamber. She has scalar wave technology. She has foot detoxes. Like, if you want to have an energetic playground, a full red light bed, like all of it, it's right there in Roswell. Her name is Deborah Haynes, and she's at Be Vitalized. I'll send you a link, and Energized. And tell her I sent you, and she will probably give you a discount. But she has wonderful energy, and she has wonderful toys.
Yeah.
So if you need a place to retreat and restore yourself, recharge, it's perfect.
Well, that's exciting because I'm to be able to have access to things that are not traditional, that don't work anyway. It gives you a whole new perspective of life. It gives you a different perspective. So before we close out our show, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you can do this. Give us 3 final biohacking, 3 quick protocols, or what would you say is the 3 most vital things to do right now? If you've never heard of biohacking, if you've never done anything, give me 3 things that somebody should start doing right now.
Okay. I got one, but you go first, Jamie.
I was just going to say we didn't even get a chance to really talk about food, diet, and
we'll come back on the show.
Yeah, we will, because we got to talk about emotions too. That's a big part of it. But go ahead, you go with your
Yes, part 2. Yes.
Well, I was going to say don't pay attention to us today, but it would be sleep. Sleeping according to your circadian rhythm is going to give you the healing hours that your body needs. If you're staying up till midnight, 2 in the morning, that means the lungs have missed their window, the liver is missing their window, because according to the Chinese meridian calendar or time or clock, there's certain hours that the body is going to restore itself in. So if we're staying up too late, we're just missing that healing time. So if you can get in the bed, even if you're not asleep, just get in there so you can have better sleep hygiene. And your body will thank you for that. That's a cheap hack. That one's cheap. That's free.
And we talked a lot about the gut microbiome, and if you can incorporate at least 1 fermented food into your diet every day, every day, whether that be, and you may not even be on the level of making your own yogurt yet, but if you can find a good yogurt in the store that you like, or kefir, or just something fermented, kombucha.
Yeah.
Adding that into your meal plan daily is a huge win.
Yes. And then the other one, I would say, it's cliche, but it's just very true. It's meditation. Be quiet. Just be still. Even if it's 4 minutes. And if you're like, I can't meditate because of my thoughts, just put your thoughts in balloons. When that thought comes in and you're trying to be still and just hear something from your higher self on direction, if you get a thought and you're like, you need to get cheese from Trader Joe's, just say, look, we're not shopping at Trader Joe's anyway. Just let it go. I jest. But, I'm just saying, just acknowledge the thought and let it go. Don't try to fight the thought. But every time that we allow our brains to just put their feet up on the couch, with the ottoman and relax, that's giving us more life too.
All right.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So this was amazing, and I really am going to hold you guys to a part 2. Or 3 or 4, or whenever the spirit moves.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, because we're not gatekeepers, and the things that people just have no idea that are right under our noses, it's our call, it's our duty to each one teach one.
That's right. It really is.
It really is. We're not trying to be the 1% who everybody's dead and we're alive. We're the only ones here. We want to be fruitful and multiply knowledge and wisdom and those kind of things. I want to thank you guys again for coming on the show. Antonio, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
No, definitely, it's always a pleasure, whether listen to you guys talk and share your wisdom or being in your presence, is always uplifting and inspirational to me. So thank you guys again for coming on, for real. It's always this is grand to be connected to you guys, for sure.
All love and the good stuff too, the good love.
That's right. That's right.
Real love.
That's right.
All right. Did you all want to say anything else to anybody listening? You know, shout out to.
Yeah, I want to shout out people for just showing up and listening, because that's the first step. We're trying to unlearn a lot of things. So be gentle with yourself. Just try one thing. Just one.
Yeah.
Don't try to do them all at one time so you're not consistent. Consistency is going to be the winning ticket here. You know, hydrating yourself. If you're not drinking water, say, I'm going to get a better quality of water, and that's all I'm going to do. And just do that thing. And whatever you're drawn to is going to show up in your life.
That is true.
That's right.
How long does I bought some kimchi. It's not open. How long do these things last in the refrigerator?
You know, they say 9 months. Because the fermentation is still happening, and then, of course, it's not aging anymore per se because of the cold. But, you know, you can smell it, taste a little bit. If it tastes too alcohol-y, I think that it is overrun its course. If it's too vinegary and it starts tasting like alcohol, because alcohol is a little different fermentation process. So when you're making something, if it tastes too tangy like that bitter alcohol flavor, then you might have to,
like sour wine.
Yes, exactly. You might have to dial it back a little bit. Like with the fermented sodas, if I let it ferment too much, it starts tasting real kombucha-like.
He's talking about our kimchi, though.
Yeah, but the kimchi too. It's that. I'm just saying for all of them.
Yeah.
It's like their turning point. They're like 36 hours. Yes, 36 hours and 1 minute. No, they're really temperamental like that. So you'll have to taste it.
All right. Well.
All right.
We love you guys, and we thank you for coming on the show. And
love y'all too.
Love you too.
We love you, Dion, too.
Yeah, love Dion.
All right, and we thank you all for listening to the Be Lifestyle Radio Show. I'm your host, Letitia Dorsey Magaha, with my co-host, Antonio Magaha, and we bid you good night.
Good night.
Night, night.